everyone, welcome back. Thanks for all your support on my videos, it's really appreciated, especially in this lull of 12 months without new content, and we're still going to have to wait at least another couple of months until we get some new content. I do appreciate all the support. Now, Massive have appointed a new product director. Now, I'm always checking out the job listings on the Massive website because historically, Ubisoft or Massive have listed jobs that have given us a good idea on the future plans of this franchise. I believe this happened with the appointment of devs for the Division 2 before it was officially announced, which is how there was speculation around there being a Division 2 before we knew about it. Well, this new appointment isn't quite the Division 3 speculation type of hiring, but from what I can tell, this job is very important in shaping the future of this franchise, so I wanted to take a look at it. Drop a like if you enjoyed this one, a dislike if you didn't, and let's begin. Now, I wouldn't normally bother covering a new appointment onto the Division 2 team in a separate kind of dedicated video. Usually it would be included with other things that I wanted to talk about because in of itself it's not really meaty enough for a dedicated video. But seeing as there is really nothing else going on news-wise right now, well, nothing that I can talk about yet anyway, and this job role appears to be of real importance to this franchise, I'm making the exception here. Now, Morten Ryberg is soon to be the new product director for the Division 2. They tweeted today confirming the new appointment at Ubisoft Massive and updated their Twitter bio confirming their appointment onto the Division team. Having previously worked for Ubisoft Nordic as a marketing director since June 2018, or at least that's what Morten's LinkedIn profile says. So apologies if that's wrong, but that's just from LinkedIn. My understanding is their previous kind of role was a marketing director, which was a huge position covering some of Ubisoft's most prized IPs like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 6 and more. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, I think understanding the kind of major position Morten Ryberg had at Ubisoft Nordic on some of its biggest IPs made me realise what a big deal this might be for the Division franchise, especially when you consider what the position of product director entails. Now, here's the official Ubisoft description of this job role. I just wanted to run through a couple of points here that I feel are of significance to understanding this job and why it might be relevant to the Division. So it says, assess the product, taking the market and competition into account, build and maintain the product's DNA by integrating feedback from operational marketing and the editorial products strategy team, initiate relevant consumer research to confirm and adjust product DNA over time, establish the product's artistic direction in collaboration with teams of artists and or external agencies, instruct the different in-house teams on the product strategy and DNA. We've also got quantify and follow up on the strength of the product by examining past results and developing new processes to better measure performance and key aspects, and that's called product equity. We've also got establish the budget required for your product, validate the following elements: positioning of the games, marketing's artistic direction, game's artistic personality, and game communication strategy. And then we've got coach the project managers to ensure the progress of their careers and propose relevant development plans for team members. So firstly, I want to say this, guys. I mean, this is kind of what you would expect from kind of like a job listing. It's got a lot of job speech, right? And it's very vague. But also I think it gives you a good understanding as to what this job is all about. Now, I did do a bit more research on kind of what other product directors within gaming said about the job role itself. And I actually found this. So what it says here is, and I'll read it verbatim here. So it says, what I do on a day-to-day basis depends on what stage of development a game is in. When a game has already been released and people are playing it, I look at game data on a daily basis to determine how successful previous updates have been and to inform what the game team's future business priorities should be. Something that might be surprising for the average person is that a project manager or project director makes most major decisions about a free-to-play game's direction based on data about how players interact with the game. Although certain choices may seem random to a player, a product manager needs to have solid information to base their decisions on. So this actual quote comes from an article. Obviously, this person was a project manager. It's similar to a project director, and they were working on a free-to-play game, and that gave you kind of an idea as to what their job entailed. Now, hearing this, you might understand kind of how important this job role is, because Morton will effectively analyze the data following the release of content, or even in the lead up to the release of content, and conclude on the direction of the game based on that data. And I think this is really essential in the Division's kind of life cycle, as after the next year of content, I have no idea what is going to happen. I don't know if we're going to get this next year's worth of content and then that kind of be the end of it, or if they're looking to do something else, or we have in another year. Are they going to build on the Division 2 over many years? I really don't know. It's possible, Morton will look at the data after maybe or halfway through the year of the new content and decide the live service for the Division 2 is no longer sustainable, and either, one, recommend its demise, or two, recommend a new Division game, possibly a Division 3. I mean, we know that Ubisoft have a record of taking their games or creating sequels from all of their IPs. You look at Assassin's Creed, you look at Far Cry. These games have had many, many sequels, and that's a decision that will be made from Morton. Well, not really a decision, but certainly he would have a hand in gathering the data and understanding the data, and then presenting that to whoever their boss is, and for them to make a decision overall. What I will say is I'm happy to see such what looks to be a big appointment into a big role. If this means we might get some kind of real direction with this game and franchise, I'm all for it. As I said before, part of the project director's job is to kind of coach the project managers and stuff like that. So maybe they're going to have a hand on getting in there and really deciding on where this game is going to go, for better or for worse. Because, guys, it's a real possibility that after this 1 year's worth of content, that is the end of the Division 2. Now, again, what I will say as well, and this is something I'm just picking up off, this is completely off script here, is that Morton on his bio for Twitter says that he's been appointed as product director for the Division. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's just for the Division 2, although they are working out of Ubisoft Massive. So that's why I said, it's going to be for the Division 2. But it's possible that they've probably got a hand in, the Division Heartland, or maybe the Division Mobile, or whatever it might be. But I'm seeing this appointment as a quite a big deal. And I really feel as though Morton's going to have a big part in shaping the future of this game, which is why I wanted to cover it as almost as a separate piece. Although, if there was other news, I would have put this in there and not made this so long, obviously. But yeah, I really think they're going to have a huge effect on this game, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring. Obviously, this community are pretty savage, so that I'm sure they're going to be tweeting at him all of the time, asking him questions, etc., etc. I've certainly already followed him on Twitter, so we'll see what he's got to say. But overall, I'm excited. Obviously, we're not going to hear anything about any kind of Division content now until the New Year's, which is a bit frustrating. But this is a bit of good news before the New Year's hits. But that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. If you did stick around all the way to the end, then I really do appreciate it. It's by far the best way that you can support me. You can also like the video. That helps. You can dislike the video. That helps. You can also subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you don't miss any of my videos. And of course, if there's any bits of news, tidbits of news, then I'm kind of your guy. That's kind of what I do here. Although I am looking to branch out into other stuff next year. So yeah, if you want to stay tuned to all of my content, then make sure your notifications are turned on. Until the next one, Epic out.